A lot of the problems that we as paranormal investigators encounter have to do with the stereotypes, stigmas, and assumptions that society has about any person involved with the paranormal field. The main problems mainly stem from the negative ideas attached to the field, rather that most people who investigate paranormal cases are crazy or delusional or wasting their time. Really? There's a general stigma attached to the paranormal as a whole subject. That ghosts are bad, that everything that goes bump in the night is demonic or out to hurt you, and while it's happened, it's not the case 100% of the time. Given the sheer number of paranormal television shows that reenact the stories told by participants, you can basically gauge a few things. Firstly, that the stigma attached to the paranormal is very far-reaching and affects everyone. Secondly, that the influence of the stigma attached to the paranormal is extremely negative. Thirdly, all of this needs to change, and soon, so that we can make more strides in better time in this field. The only way that it's ever going to change is if the entire world changes its focus of perspective on the paranormal. This would take an enormous shift in society, as well as global education on the subject, which of course is not the focus for change. Globally, the world is focusing on worthier things: hunger, poverty, homelessness, dignity, unity, anti-discrimination, anti-hate. Everyone is trying to change the economy for the better, create jobs, etc. And it somewhat leaves those who experience paranormal phenomena in the wind. I'm not saying that any of the previous mentioned things are not important. It simply overshadows a certain demographic in need. The best thing that the paranormal community can do is simply educate themselves and their friends and family. They can run blogs to educate, they can form communities to educate, they can arrange lectures and seminars to educate. There are subtle and small things that can be done to change the world's outlook on the paranormal as a whole. It helps to have a proper education in all matters so that a stigma does not attach itself to a certain field or subject. This is why there are so many people with paranormal gifts like clairvoyance or sensitivity that do not feel comfortable getting into the field. They are taught from an early age that it's wrong and demonic and against God. But if God makes all things, I don't see why he would make such a thing possible and deem it wrong. Having never believed the paranormal to be a taboo topic, it almost seems ridiculous to think about how many people scoff at it, while the majority of others have actually had experiences. These people do not seem to enjoy discussing it, perhaps because it was just too scary, or they have decided to keep quiet just to prevent people from calling them mental cases. It's a wonder, really, that the stories of paranormal experiences actually trump stories of skepticism and doubt. It's also somewhat staggering how many creepy stories people come up with, as well as urban legends and the belief of them. It is an opinion of me in particular, that people would not tell these types of stories without some level of belief in them, especially when it comes to more frightening urban legends such as the Slender Man, also known as Wendigo. Most urban legends have some sort of factual background, even if that background is rather mundane in nature, and not so fantastical as the urban legend leads people to believe. The worst part of the stigma is knowing just how many people actually contribute to it by making phony ghost videos and photoshopping ghostly figures into photographs of dark and dusky locations. It does not help an investigator's credibility in the least, especially given the sheer magnitude of fakery out there. A large problem, too, is the amount of fakery people get up to in claiming paranormal activity and bringing in a team of paranormal investigators. It's been documented on the very famous sci-fi paranormal reality show Ghost Hunters. It makes investigators angry, it wastes their time and their resources, and it puts a general negative taint on their work up to that point. Think about it, people. We pay out of pocket for everything we do. There's the gas and the equipment, the batteries, so much to do and so much to get to document what we want to get. Every type of behavior within the paranormal field adds to the stigma or subtracts from it. With all of the stereotypes surrounding ghosts and paranormal investigators, we find that we can either feed it or show people otherwise. Likewise, heavy skepticism does weigh on legitimate paranormal investigation by feeding negativity into the mix. A piece of evidence that should be clear, for example, which gets dismissed as fakery almost immediately. A skeptic talking about all the ways evidence can be staged or faked. An almost psychotic determination to remain closed-minded to the goings-on around them. As difficult as people can be, paranormal investigators still push forward. We have to. But if you have a real passion for something, despite the labels on it, pushing forward and ignoring the negativity is just about the best and only thing you can do. You may not change everyone's minds on a subject, but you will certainly have made a mark on the field. Every investigator works as part of a team.
Yep.
And these teams make up a larger team, which makes up the paranormal community. There is a campaign going on now called Paranormal Unity. A link is both on my blog sidebar and going in the description in the bottom here, which seeks to unite everyone in the paranormal community, promote positivity, and help the paranormal cause by bringing everyone together as a very large worldwide family. They have a great message and mission, and the paranormal community has been enriched by their existence. If we all work together to bring forth viable evidence from every case we work, we can change how the world sees us paranormal investigators. Together we can be the ones who really push the field forward and into a new era of research. We cannot do this alone, and it is difficult even for a team to go it alone. Let's be as one in our search for the truth. Let's be as one in our quest to peel the stigma from the paranormal field. Let's do this together!